Happening right now, the historic 16th Street Viaduct linking the north and south sides across the Menominee Valley closed because it could be unsafe for travelers.
News Chopper 12 with an exclusive look at the span shut down after an inspection Thursday revealed a major safety hazard. 12 News uncovering a city memo identifying, quote, significant steel loss on a beam spanning the width of the roadway.
You never want to hear that. 12 News' Nick Bohr live at the 16th in Clybourne near the Marquette campus. And Nick, this is on a part of the bridge that wasn't being repaired.
Right, this northern part of the 16th Street Bridge here has been shut down since July. It's being closed until next October as part of a reconstruction plan, but the southern part linking to Potawatomi Casino was supposed to stay open. That was until an inspection Thursday turned up a major safety concern. The words historic and bridge can be equal parts charming and concerning. It's why part of the historic 16th Street Bridge, or viaduct, was already being restored. Marquette University civil engineering professor Andrew Sen telling 12 News it's not surprising the 96-year-old span was showing some of its age.
With a bridge of the style of the 16th Street Viaducts, you have a lot of riveted connections. It's a built-up plate girder bridge. There are some built-up members, so we're talking about multiple pieces of steel that have been essentially stitched together with rivets. That creates a lot of surfaces where corrosion can occur.
And it's corrosion that raised a red flag Thursday, forcing the city to close the bridge entirely. In an email to aldermen obtained by 12 News, the city engineer told them an inspection discovered, quote, a floor beam spanning the width of the structure that has significant steel loss on both its east and west ends.
Once you start to lose material, you lose some strength and stiffness. And that can lead to further problems.
Such as the possibility of a failure, prompting the city to abruptly close the southern portion to vehicle traffic to, quote, ensure the safety of the traveling public.
Given the age of the bridge and the fact that it's already under some sort of construction, there's already rehabilitation going on, that's a perfect time for more detailed inspections to occur. So the fact that it happened now is not too surprising.
So, Nick, does the city have any idea as to how long that span will be closed for?
Not yet. They're still trying to get full access to the area here, though. However, in that email to aldermen, the city engineer is saying that he believes it will not require a full reconstruction of that southern end there, just rather a repair, they're hoping. And I should mention we are seeing pedestrians still using this part of the bridge.
All right, certainly could slow folks down who travel that way often. Nick Bohr live for us tonight on this Friday night. Thanks, Nick. The 16th Street Viaduct was originally built in 1894. It runs 400 feet long over the Menominee Valley from the Marquette University campus to the city's south side. In the 1960s, the viaduct was known as Milwaukee's Mason-Dixon line, connecting the city's largely black neighborhoods on the north side to the formerly overwhelmingly white population on the south side. In 1988, the viaduct was renamed the James E. Groppe Unity Bridge in tribute to the open housing protest that Father Groppe led across the bridge in 1967.